दोस्तों इस क्लास में आपको डिक्टेशन दूंगा मैं 100 WPM पर 600 वर्ड्स की डिक्टेशन है, आपको डिक्टेशन में प्रोवाइड कर रहा हूं। बी रेडी फॉर इट। This court observed that the lackadaisical manner in which the states and the union territories had responded to the rights of children made it necessary to draw attention to the constitutional rights guaranteed to children. It was observed that the inaction of the states was in the teeth of the directions given by this court, and additionally the states and union territories ought to realize that they have to operate in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution of India. Accordingly, specific information was sought from each state and union territory regarding efforts made by the respective governments. Affidavits were filed by the states and union territories from time to time as an attempt to respond to the questions raised by this court regarding action taken by the concerned governments in protecting the rights of children as well as implementation of the statutes mentioned above. The responses were disheartening then, and the situation has not changed substantially even after almost a decade since this court took cognizance of the matter. Progress, if any, has been marginal. Unfortunately, it appears that the governments of some of the states and union territories have little remedial or proactive concern for children. On 20th March 2015, this court raised the need for a social audit in terms of Rule 64 of the Juvenile Justice, Care and Protection of Children Rules 2007 and the utilization of funds given to the states and union territories under the Integrated Child Protection Scheme. On 17th April 2015, this court raised the issue of a concurrent monitoring audit under the Integrated Child Protection Scheme as well as the establishment of juvenile justice boards, child welfare committees and special juvenile police units, functioning of child care institutions and functioning of adoption agencies. On 31st July 2015, at the instance of the learned amicus, the issue of formulating child care plans was discussed in addition to laying down a policy for conducting social audits. On 28th August 2015, the issue of vacancies in the National Commission for the Protection of Child Rights was raised by this court. On 30th October 2015, the format for social audits was discussed in the context of finalizing something workable and pragmatic. Since it appeared that there was a lack of seriousness and more tragically a lack of empathy towards the well-being and welfare of children amongst some of the states and union territories and complete apathy with respect to the disturbingly increasing instances of child sexual abuse, often by someone in a position of authority, and ineffective implementation of the laws passed by Parliament, virtually making parliamentary legislation irrelevant, we heard detailed submissions of all the parties with the intention of passing appropriate directions so as to ensure the meaningful implementation of the statutes already enacted by Parliament. It must be appreciated that the Juvenile Justice, Care and Protection of Children Act 2015 is a medium for the state to honor the directive principles of state policy, particularly under Article 39F of the Constitution, by giving opportunities to children to develop in a healthy manner and in conditions of freedom and dignity. However, as held in Bandhu Mukti Morcha versus Union of India, once a directive principle is enforced through law, the state must be obligated to enforce the statute to uphold its constitutional obligation. In this context, it is pertinent to note that India acceded to the Convention on the Rights of the Child on the 11th December 1992. Article 19 of the CRC obligates the state parties to take all appropriate measures to protect the child from all forms of physical or mental violence, including sexual abuse. दोस्तों इसी के साथ ये डिक्टेशन फिनिश होती है। उम्मीद है आप लोगों ने इसे बहुत अच्छे से लिखा होगा। एक वर्ड है जो कि लास्ट पैराग्राफ में आया है, बंधुआ, उसे मैंने बंधु पढ़ा है, सो आप उसको करेक्ट कर लीजिएगा। और उम्मीद है कि बहुत अच्छी लगी होगी आपको डिक्टेशन। मेरी कोशिश रहती है कि विदाउट डिस्टर्बेंस, कोई भी आपको डिस्टर्बेंस ना आए लिखते समय, कोशिश मेरी रहती है एकदम बिल्कुल शांतिपूर्ण माहौल में आप डिक्टेशन लिखें ताकि एग्ज़ाम जैसा आपको माहौल मिल सके। दिक्कत आपको नहीं आएगी, आप बस प्रैक्टिस करते रहिए। इसी मैटर की 120 WPM की स्पीड ऑलरेडी अपलोड हो चुकी है, जो आपको पता है कि एक पेड कोर्स है, तो आप उसको अगर करना चाहते हैं तो वो आप ऑप्ट कर सकते हैं उस चीज़ के लिए। बहुत ही ज़्यादा अच्छी डिक्टेशन है, बहुत मेहनत से मैं इनको प्रिपेयर कर रहा हूँ आप लोगों के लिए। बस मेरा आपसे एक ही निवेदन है कि आप मेहनत ज़्यादा कीजिए। जितनी ज़्यादा मेहनत करेंगे उतनी ज़्यादा इंप्रूवमेंट आपके शॉर्ट हैंड में होती रहेगी। पार्लियामेंट्री डिबेट्स के मैटर्स भी मैं जल्दी अपलोड कर दूंगा, जो कि कैलाश चंद्रा से मैं अपलोड करता आया हूं, तो उसको भी मैं कंप्लीट करूंगा। बट क्योंकि प्रायोरिटी मेरी है अभी थोड़ा सा कि जितने कोर्सेज, क्योंकि एग्ज़ाम पास आ रहा है और ये जो एडिटोरियल कोर्सेज जो मैंने चलाए हैं या लीगल कोर्सेज जो मैंने चलाए हैं उनको कंप्लीट करना भी मेरी एक जिम्मेदारी है। तो मेरी कोशिश रहती है कि बीच बीच में मैं आपको प्रीवियस ईयर डिक्टेशंस दे दूं, और ये तो मैं आपको प्रोवाइड कर ही रहा हूं। तो आप मेहनत कीजिए, टाइम कम है मेरे पास और मैटर्स ज़्यादा होते हैं करने के लिए, इस वजह से सभी को सेटिस्फाई करना तो पॉसिबल नहीं होता मैटर्स प्रोवाइड करके, बट कोशिश पूरी करता हूं मैं। तो आपसे मुलाकात करूंगा मैं अगली क्लास में। आप वीडियो को लाइक कीजिएगा। तब तक के लिए बाय बाय, टेक केयर।